All right. So today is the day for Henry Dank sentencing. We all know he got life mandatory for murder. And they were trying to get this man like three or four different life sentences. I guess the prosecutor, she wanted it to be not concurrent, but she wanted it to be I think consecutive. And then defense was like, can you just make it concurrent because he only got one life. Uh, so let's just see them give us the rundown of his criminal history.
Starting back in December of 1989 with his first conviction for theft in the fourth degree and operating a motor vehicle without owner's consent. We have an individual who has been consistently involved in the criminal justice system up until the time of the commission of these offenses for which he was convicted. So, after those offenses, we've got his first conviction for sexual abuse in the second degree back in May of 1990. After he was sentenced to a term of prison, one of the things that the state noticed was that he had been released to work release in 93, having started his sentence in August of 1990, and he was paroled to the work release center in September of 1993. Unfortunately, after he was paroled, from the Work Release Center, we had the first revocation of that parole in 1994. That resulted in a completion of the violators program, where he again was paroled just a couple of months later to have his parole revoked then in January of 1995.
Oh man, this dude has so many chances. And then he got locked up after the parole got revoked in 95, and they sent him down for 5 years, and he got out in 2000. And then he got out and did more shit.
We have a violation of a no contact order in 2001. We've got a domestic battery resulting in bodily harm, and then a charge of endangering life and or health of a child in 2001. Then we've got three different offenses that occurred during the period of 2002 through 2003 involving thefts. We've got a violation for the sex offender registry starting in 2003. And then even after that, we have got two more violations of the sex offender registry within the 2003 and 2004 period of time. Moving on.
Wow. This dude, he just has so many chances. I mean, he supposed to do 10 years. They let him out on parole. He escaped. They caught him, locked him up, and then he got out again and did more stuff.
Mr. Dinkins is required to pay $150,000 in victim restitution to the heirs of Breasia Terrell.
I don't know where you're going to get that money from. 150 grand? I don't think they make that much in prison. I don't think so. Let's hear what Henry Dinkins had to say. Let's just hear what he, now listen very closely. Let's hear his words.
Mr. Dinkins, this is your opportunity to address me and tell me what you would like me to know before I pronounce sentence in this case.
What are you supposed to do when you're told you can't even speak in court, especially when you see and know something ain't right?
Okay. The first thing that should have came out of his mouth is, I did not kill her. He should have been saying, I would have never hurt Breasia. He ain't gonna say that not one time.
Basically, it's like having a gag order, which prevents you from addressing the court with any of the issues. What if your issues are with the judge, the prosecutor, or the attorney? You are not allowed to put anything on record at any time of these issues during the court proceedings unless it's asked the question of the judge, the prosecutor, or your attorney. What happened to the rights of freedom of speech if a person addressed a matter to the court in the proper proceedings?
What happened to saying, I'm innocent, I did not kill her? He is not going to say that. See, the whole premise of him reading these statements, and I'm going to tell you why he's reading this. Because when he get to jail, they're going to beat his ass. And he wants to put up a preface to say, hey, man, you see how I read down in the court, man, I was telling you, and they ain't let me present all the evidence. I ain't even do it, man, you know what I'm saying? He ain't even say, look. Then he makes the excuse saying that they wouldn't let him say anything. Dude, if you was innocent, could nothing have shut you up? They would have had to put a muzzle on your mouth. But you ain't say nothing because you ain't had nothing to say because you did it.
Even if it's in the same spectrum as if your attorney or your prosecutor are addressing the courts or any issues. Your Honor, may I speak to the court? There are so many various issues people might have at different times of the court proceeding. I believe if these issues could be resolved between client and counsel, then there wouldn't be a problem. But that's not always the case. I'm only going to speak right now because this is my only opportunity to address the court during the closing of this trial, which is kind of too late for me. Even if you do ask your attorney to ask certain questions, sometimes things don't get done. I have a speech that I would like to address the courts with if the judge allowed me the opportunity to say the following. Let me address the facts about everything regarding my case. First, I want to know if I can quote case numbers or just saying the same, either or will be fine to me.
No. You should have said, first, I like to say I did not kill her. First, I like to say I have nothing to do with this. First, he's looking for a loophole.
And how do you beat a system that is against you that's not playing fair? When I was in Clinton County Jail, I remember 2 detectives coming to charge me with this case. I remember the female detective saying, we're going to make you look like a monster when this is over. To be honest, I was already found guilty before this case and trial already began. I can see it as racial profiling behind my background.
Nah, I know he ain't saying nothing about no damn racial profile, you Klingon looking ass. Look, man, this ain't got nothing to do with race, bro. Okay? You wouldn't let him look through your phone. Okay? You walked away when the officer went in the house to look for Breasia. They asked you to come down to the police station. You didn't go until like 3-4 hours later after you went and got some bleach, some donuts, some pancakes, and stabbed a few people. You went and did all this other shit, and then you went down there after you thought you cleaned up all your DNA, and you took your son with you and wrecked his whole thing. It's gonna take him a lifetime to deal with the crap that you did. Racial? This ain't got nothing to do. This ain't, bruh. Don't be trying to bring the black community in this. We ain't got shit to do with this.
I'm saying this because how everything played out from the beginning all the way up to now.
I can't believe this dude. You won't take no accountability for what you did. You haven't even apologized. You haven't even tried to defend yourself against the allegations by saying, I did not kill her. You should be crying. You should be falling out, having fits. Because if you really loved that little girl like she was your daughter, you would have been having a damn fit. And you're not. And that's why the public know you did it, bro.
The state produced 900 exhibits offered into evidence. I can honestly say I've only seen 35 exhibits before this trial, but I was given 665 exhibits during trial to have for my records. I never had the opportunity to look over 90% of any of this for preparation for trial, but this includes footages as well. I also made the comment, man, they're never going to find her because it's been quite some time.
Man, we still ain't seen Lil Vince. Now ain't gonna try this old fake ass cry.
As the time progressed, that even made it even slimmer. I also made
You should be saying, I did not kill her, then cry.
through the news coverage and the news confirming this victim.
Nah, don't ain't try and do what the judge did. Looking up. Would a man look up like that? That nigga lying.
I know I had to get a jury trial, but through the news press coverage confirming this verdict with the high profile in this murder case. This racism this racism do run deep in the Iowa system for people of color.
Look, this ain't got nothing to do with race. Because if it had anything to do with race, all them white cops would not have been looking for that little black girl. All them people wouldn't have been looking for that little black girl. This ain't got nothing to do with race, bro. It's got everything to do with you. Because if you would have been helping, like any person would have done, or any person that didn't have anything to do with killing her, you would not have been a suspect and your ass wouldn't have been convicted. Everybody see right through it. It's not magnetic, bro. It's transparent and we can see right through you.
I'm not only talking blacks, I know whites also have the same problem as well. But it's more common for the people for men of color. But the profile racism that I'm dealing with is behind my background. And almost 75% of their news coverage, they mention my background or something in regards of that nature. If I didn't have that, I would have never got charged.
Bullshit. He's saying if he ain't have a background in sexual assaulting minors, that he would have never. Look, dude, your background was probably a small indicator, maybe. Okay, all right. It was your behavior. Yeah, get that through your head. It was your behavior and how you handled the whole situation. All right, that's what it is. How the hell are you leaving out with a little girl at damn 3 a.m. and then come back, and then when you leave, she leave, and then you come back? I don't know what she is. I was asleep. You was asleep, Nick, man, bro. And this ain't got nothing to do with race. So stop trying to. Don't do that, bro. Don't do that. Because you taking away from shit that really happens when it's race. And we don't need nobody referring back to this bullshit saying that black people are always crying out race. Look. All right, look, for all the people out there, we ain't got nothing to do with this dude. We just kicked him out the black race. He out of here. He ain't black no more. So when you see him, treat his ass like Uncle Ruckus, because the nigga look like Uncle Ruckus.
When I was in Marshall County, before this trial began, here they go again, sliding negative news coverage of my background a week or so before my jury selection was about to begin. Through this racial profile, the state and others have shown ambiguous behaviors that sought constantly through these drawn lines. But what can you do when you're told you're not allowed to speak? I can only play with what's provided by the courts and the state's rules.
Bullshit. Like I said, if you were really innocent and didn't have anything to do with it, could nothing have shut anybody up in that situation. They would have had to hog time, put duct tape on his mouth, every damn thing. And the public would have saw that. The judge would have saw that. That's who made the final decision right there. But right, what you did is your body language told on you, bro. It told that yeah, you did it.
Me and my family tried to contact my attorney on several different occasions, which I was told that he was working on the other client's case. To you, Judge Latham, you handpicked my attorney. I went through 3 different attorneys, but the handpicked one was my last option. I'm not going to bash my counsel because I know he personally did more than the Davenport public pretenders. But I know he overlooked some things in my case. I'm not quite understanding how I wasn't given 665 exhibits or seen any footages before this trial.
Bro, give us some real stuff. Stop talking about them damn exhibits. Tell us where you took her, okay? Or tell us some shit like, yeah, I saw a man out in the parking lot. He came in through the window, and I tried to chase him, and I followed him to the dirty dell. You ain't saying nothing like that. We need details. You ain't got no details. You talking about some damn exhibits.
He did make me believe he was going to raise these issues, but I never seen nothing come forward. I've asked several times, but was told you have nothing to worry about. I was being bamboozled by the blind side while nothing was being introduced or brought to the surface. I really don't know if this would have made a difference because the judge was just looking for any reason to get this verdict.
But who? What the fuck is, who is this dude? Bamboozled. Looking for anything to get the verdict. Nah, well, he ain't had to look far. He ain't had to look far to get that verdict, bro. All he had to do was look over at your Klingon head ass and be like, yep, he did it. Because that's what we said. Matter of fact, he didn't even have to look at you in the courtroom. All he had to do was look at that interrogation. And all he had to do was look at the footage from when the cop came out when she was reported missing. That's all. And he would have saw that, and you would have came out, yeah, man, that's what I'm saying, man. And you trying to intentionally start an argument with the mother so you can walk away. Dude, I will never understand people like this. I don't think I ever understand people like this. Because the way they think, it's always about them. He didn't kill this little girl, messed up his son's psyche, wrecked the whole family, but he the damn victim?
Truly say after hearing the judge's remark and while I was in Clinton and Cedar Rapids, the judge's demeanor spoke real clear to me of the courts, which made me realize that I never had a chance to win from the beginning. So once again, where is the justice in the judicial system when you see the judge in his own personal emotion, then you hear the judge say that everything made against you, he find credible, then tell you everything you said is a lie.
Dude, you're not given any information, all right, to rebut or rebuttal anything that's been said against you. You ain't gave nothing. You ain't said I came back in because you ain't nothing. You ain't, well, the reason why I went out with the reason y'all saw me at Walmart buying bleach is because no details. All you got is because I'm black. They profiled me because they knew I did something dirty back in my past. And it's racism. No, it ain't. Even OJ didn't even say racism. But did he say racism? I don't think he said racism. But you?
And untruthful. Even when they know you know they lied. I do understand the power of the pen, especially when the power of authority is being abused behind watchful seers. I do wish situations were different, but the state has played dirty when they know they didn't have anything on me while I was their easiest target behind.
Dude, they got a whole murder on your ass. What are you talking about? They ain't got nothing on you. What are you talking about? They ain't got nothing on you. You change clothes. You talking about they ain't got what is he talking about? Who the hell man, they gonna beat you up. When you get to the jail. Oh man, bro.
Background. I would have to say this is overwhelming, but I have to stay focused and grounded. I have more hurdles that I have to jump through, but I have to take things one step at a time. For those who believe this fight is over, guess what? Through my resilience, you will see me at the next checkpoint, God willing. My main focus is getting back home, but where is home after all this? Where is home? But right now, I have to stay focused on what's more important. I'm only able to play with what's provided by help from those who are watchful seers as well. I know the court has played unfair towards me. I played this scenario numerous times in my head trying to figure this out, but I keep coming up with the same answer. You never had a chance from the beginning.
How about you should have said, I never did it. I didn't do this. You should have been like, I played this through my head over and over again, trying to figure out how it is that I got convicted. I didn't do this. I'm not guilty of this. I love Breasia. I would never have hurt her. And he's not doing any of that. I don't know how many times I got to repeat this. This dude is just lying his ass off.
So I say this to you, Judge Layden. What if you would have found me? What if you would have never found me guilty and found me innocent? What would have been the outcome from their perspective? Everybody have to report to somebody, but God is but God is the final ultimate judge.
I don't know what the hell he meant by that. That went over my damn head. What if he would have found me innocent and then God outcome and next paragraph?
I do forgive those who made past judgments against me unknowingly. Never once have the courts asked me about anything of the clothing or the shoes or during any of these allegations.
Well, why don't you tell us about the clothing and the shoes and the allegations? Here's your opportunity.
I honestly believe that these items are not important, but it was
Oh, shit. They never asked me about the clothes and the shoes. And in the next sentence, he says, I don't believe this is important. But
giving the state more ammunition to point a finger negativity towards me. Just like me not opening Andrea's door with my key to allow the police to walk into her residence. I don't have them rights for that. I don't pay no bills at her apartment to allow anyone access to her place. I didn't give no approval for her place for that. I didn't give no approval for a place that's not my place of authority to do.
that's all you could come up with? That is all you could come up with. You saying that you didn't let the cop in even though you had a key because you saying that wasn't your place and wasn't your authority to let him in when Breasia is missing? This dude is just...
On the footage, I told him I checked, and he said, "Let's check." And then lied and said I told Andrea, and then he lied and said I said it was okay for him to go into Andrea's house. But I will have to say the video do speak for itself. I will have to say there was one person's statement that was consistent from the initial report to deposition to trial, and that was Miss Gardner, Aisha's mom. I do recall her talking to Aisha before I left with the kids, or I would have never left with either kid. I'm still stumped about 900 exhibits plus, and I'm saying plus because I've only received 700 and the state knows that the ones that would have set me free, they used deception and sabotage.
Why don't you tell us about the ones that would have set you free? How about that? Just give us one. Just give us one exhibit that will make us doubt that you had anything to do with this. He ain't gonna be able to do it.
But made a mistake by giving me 665 exhibits during trial to go through and to cipher through after trial. I know I was given 665 because I counted them, which I've already had 35 before this trial.
35, 64, 24, 1 minus 16. It was 900 plus 6, but they only gave me 600. But if they would have gave me the whole 9, I could have been innocent and I wouldn't be sitting here. But y'all only let me do 600 when I had 900 exhibits. And it's racial. And y'all prejudiced everybody's 900 exhibits. But I knew that it was 500 minus the 14 that I had, that you ain't told us shit. Lying ass,
and which gives me 700 in total. The only reason why you didn't use my son's statements saying he seen me kill his sister, it would have made every lie truthful. It would have made everybody lies untruthful, which you couldn't have that. So
that's a lie. That's a lie. Because you still took her out of that house or that apartment. Yeah, you did. You took her out. And you still got stuck in that ditch that dude helped you get out. Right? So it wouldn't have disproved anything. You could have gave us some stronger points than what you did, but you just bickering over evidence and saying that everybody's out to get you because they racially profiled you by looking at your background. But you ain't said nothing about you didn't kill her. You're not trying to prove your innocence by making statements that saying that you didn't do it. You trying to prove your innocence, hoping that you find a loophole. That's what you're looking for. You're looking for a loophole. And you get mad because you can get a chance to use your loophole. That's what he's pissed off about. Y'all wouldn't let me use my loophole. So I had 900 exhibits and I could have got a hookup out of that. This dude he probably been doing loopholes his whole damn life. And this is one situation where he couldn't find a hookup or connect to get off.
I say once again, where is the justice and the equal liberty in the system?
He better leave that judge alone. That judge literally want to kick his ass. That judge don't like him.
There it is right there in the eyes of the public, racial profiling. I'm only able to do what I can just to be rejected or overlooked once again by everybody. When you ask your counsel, when will certain things be brought up, and he tells you through other witness, but it's misleading of your counsel when he knows that the state is going to rest and there is no more witness to raise the issue, but he tells you different. But you are not allowed to speak during trial.
Bailiff need to just come snatch them damn papers out of his hand and tell his ass, get your ass in the jail already. You got life.
My dearest son, you know I love you with all my heart. I know everybody distorted your thoughts where you're trying to figure things out in your own head. I'm sorry that you had to deal with all this abuse from those who made you lie about all these stories.
Your son ain't gonna watch this, bro. He ain't gonna watch none of this shit. Your son got so much shit to deal with right now. He don't even want to hear your voice. Because like the prosecutor said, you actually took your son there after you killed his sister and made him almost like a damn accessory. Not that he was an accessory, but in his mind, he was with the man that killed his sister after he killed her. That little boy got so much to think about right now. You should have just left his name out of the whole damn thing, because that relationship between you and him is done.
Miss Culberson, I also respect your initial report and your deposition, but somewhere along this course, your whole story changed like 360. I'm not sure what took place or what type of situation you might be in, but something made you spiral from out of the normal.
Won't you tell us what the story was? Won't you tell us what her original story was? You got the stand. He gonna make this, he's trying to make this into a damn mystery. And everybody know if you can make something into a mystery, it never gets solved and nobody ever does anything about it.
You know I never been violent towards you or showed any aggression. I've only been protective of you. That's why I was kind of surprised by the statements you made, which kind of had me thrown off the loop. Just please give my things to my family, and I'll leave it at that.
She already did that. Your shit in an incinerator. She threw your shit. Everything that the police didn't get, she threw that shit in the garbage.
Aisha, you said something in your deposition that caught my attention. You said you wrote me 15 letters from the beginning of this case. Well, it's sad to say, but I believe I might have only got 2 letters that slipped through the crack that they didn't catch.
Boy, I tell you, he's still trying to displace the blame, talking about letters. He's either implying that she didn't send the letters, or he's implying that they took the letters and never gave him the letters. Hence, that he's alluding to maybe they didn't give him a fair trial because of the damn letters. This man is too much, man.
They took them letters before I even had a chance to receive them. That was their intentions, to have you turn against me. That way.
Turn against you? Did he just say she turned against your ass when she got off work and her daughter was gone, bro? She turned against your ass when you supposed to go to the police station and she had to come find your ass. She turned against your ass the day that her daughter came up missing and you wouldn't help look for her. She stopped believing in you then because you hurt her daughter. And she was trying to make sure that you had a relationship with your son, but you took advantage of that.
Makes it easy for them to point a finger. I even gave this letter to my attorney. But the only time that I was able to contact you, and that's when I was in Clinton. I text you. I know you remember because you kept asking me, who is this? I never said who I was. I even text your mom number as well. I will have to say your initial and depositions are totally different from your trial, straight the opposite.
How the hell he get a phone to text somebody in jail? That's what I'm trying to figure out. Who gave this man a phone in jail? A cell phone to text somebody?
My God taught me failure isn't final. Your fight is only over.
He also told you murder is a sin. Yeah. He said, thou shalt not kill. Yeah. I'm sure you forgot that part.
You throw in the towel. What initiate champions? The Almighty. My endurance is built strong like.
Okay, now this turning to God. I can't believe this. How come you ain't turned to God before you killed the little girl, bro? Now you gonna get religious? Stupid ass.
Never before. My joy is beyond any experience I ever imagined. I will overcome this. I am encouraged that a power far beyond my physical ability will appear and give me spiritual armor through this fight of lies with truth that will set me free.
Oh, shit. Drop the mic.
Before I proceed with my judgment and sentence in this case, I must address some of the statements made by the defendant in this case to the court.
Told you. That judge don't like his ass. Judge is like, I'm not just gonna let you sit up and talk that slick shit. I gotta respond to that.
This court has provided the defendant with very competent representation during the entire course of this action. Actually, the attorneys representing the defendant in this proceeding and in this trial, his last counsel, are very competent. We're very zealous in the representation of the defendant.
You see how he looked at him? He want to fuck Henry up.
Couldn't have asked for better attorneys. The court made its decision based on all the evidence that was presented in this case. The court's ruling was based on facts. I find no legal basis to grant any of the defendant's motions for judgment of acquittal or new trial if that was the intent of some of his statements as a pro se motion. Because the defendant was found guilty of 2 Class A felonies, this court has no discretion on what the sentence shall be imposed. Rather, life imprisonment is mandatory. The court notes, however, that the defendant has an adult criminal record dating back to 1989. This history, coupled with the horrific nature of these offenses against his own child's sister, requires that this defendant be removed from society for the protection of society. This sentence provides for both punishment and for protection of the community. Mr. Dinkins, it's unconscionable that you would take such actions to murder a 10-year-old child who was entrusted to your care. It was very clear to this court that you have no conscience or remorse for your actions. You blatantly lied about trying to find Briasia. You took no legitimate actions to find her. You knew exactly where she was. Ms. Langford, you may proceed if you would just please state your name and spell your name for my court reporter.
Okay, my name is Aisha, spelled Aishia, Langford, Lankford.
You may proceed.
All right. Your Honor, my name is Aisha Langford, as I said before, mother of Briasia Terrell. Before I continue, I'd like to thank the court for providing me the opportunity for me to speak today. July 9th, 2020, exactly 3 years ago, since the last time I saw my baby girl, when I dropped her clothes off for her and DL after I got off work and showered and headed over to the Jersey Ridge Apartments complex. Once I got outside the complex, Briasia running out smiling as she always does, a smile that can light up a room, any room. We spoke for a few minutes while she held her dog, Chloe. She said she loved me, and I watched her run around to the apartment complex while her lovely locks bounced away around 6:30-ish. Those are my last words with my baby girl. So I wrapped my mental around her face. Her last words, she said to me, the amount of pain I felt and feel that no mom should ever have to feel, because man, that stuff hurts real bad in a different spot. I didn't even know it existed until you, Henry Dinkins, changed that for me. Broke my trust and emotions I had the day you took my baby girl from me and just gunned her down like she was nothing and left her and never said a word at all.
No emotion. This guy's got no emotion. No emotion. No, he's not taking accountability, nothing. No tears. No shaking his head. No, I didn't do it. He's just...
It's really painful that a statement could bring so much anger. I have a number of questions for you, Henry Dinkins, surrounding that night that played through my mind every day. Did she want me? Was she scared? Did she see those gunshots coming? Did you shoot her while she was trying to get away? Did she scream for help? Did she beg you to stop? Did you see in her face when she realized she was shot the first time? What was her last words? Did you stay and watch my baby die? How long did she suffer?
No emotion. Nothing. He looking at her like, I got nothing. I got nothing. Look at him. No emotion.
Did you watch the life leave from her beautiful hazel eyes? What did you do to my son? Why? Do you know the answers to any of these questions I asked, huh? Henry Dinkins, why you sit in this courtroom as if this shit don't hurt you? Watching you during these proceedings. That isn't right. You sit there with smiles and chatter during sensitive things and then try to speak to me when you never once spoke to me after July 14, 2020. You remember. When I saw you in Scott County Jail telling me you didn't do this, but why you haven't said nothing then? Why? Henry Dinkins, closure doesn't exist here in this case. Justice doesn't exist here in this case.
See, he never talked to her. He never told her I didn't do it. He never told her. He never told her mother. He never told his sister. He never told his mother. He never told anybody, hey, I didn't do this. He never even said that to the public. I didn't do this.
You didn't just take away my baby's life. You didn't just take away my baby's life. You took away everything from me. My family's sense of security, laughs, health, and potential. Potential for Breasia to be someone's wife. The potential to be a mother, a college graduate, prom, everything. Oh, my baby girl, Henry. I went from believing I wasn't the best mom, but made things happen, but best I could, to downing myself day in and day out as, what kind of person am I not to have protected my daughter? I've broken myself down many a times over and over, analyzing text messages, calls, and conversations about everything, trying to figure out what I could have done differently. I watched my oldest son completely lose his childhood and be the cast of being the man of the house for me, because I was truly broken the day I got the call stating they found my daughter. I'll never forget, March 22nd, 2021, around 7:30 p.m. So they told me they had information I had been waiting on. So that night, my tummy was in knots, and all I did was cry, and I held my pillow so tight, trying to hurry the nightfall so I could get up, so I could rush the kids to school and get on that highway near DeWitt, March 23rd, 2021. Once I got out there, it was a feeling I can't even describe, because it was the snuggle on my heart. Mentally, I was going insane because that was a different feeling in my body I wasn't used to. I kept myself covered from the media footage that was other while I shed so many tears inside because I couldn't describe that. My daughter laid behind those squad cars and big RV, man. I couldn't do nothing to save her. All I got a glimpse of. All I got was a glimpse of a damn blue bag, man, that crushed my whole soul. I promise, broke me down, and still am. And my son commit to every hurt need I need, and still does. I watched my youngest baby become unrecognizable. At times, with the amount of anger he sits and holds to from this trauma you put him through, he's so hurt, he has no idea how to even understand or even cope with the loss of his best friend, partner in crime, his sister, who helped him through so much of his life. He would too overcome this and gain himself back and be somebody. He will not be what you have put him through or even made him sit through. We are suffering from so much, with anxiety and depression at the top of our list. I can't work at times because all the trauma on top of the world of things I encounter at most jobs, the social media crap, pushed me into a shell I haven't been able to shake quite yet. Our lives changed. 3 years went past us with no stops, right before our eyes. And here we are in this courtroom seeking the justice she deserved, so she could be laid to rest properly. Still yet, this all feel like a movie. I haven't changed the channel to, because this can't just be it. Like, that's all. That's the piece that sinks in and still hurt, because I thought hearing you get a life sentence with no possibility of parole will help me sleep at night. And it just doesn't, because she didn't have to be gunned down like that, nor left like that out there like she was just trash. She didn't deserve that. She didn't deserve to have her lifeless remains shown across the TVs. Like she did. She did it, Henry Dinkins. So whatever you get won't be enough, because your family get to
He still ain't crying.
come to see you. And my baby is just that, just gone. And never, ever, ever coming back, as she left me July 9th, 2020. Peace, understanding, and forgiveness will never come. I also truly hope what you did to her will haunt you for the rest of your life. I'll hold onto those good memories we shared, and not how you left her, and how she laid across that damn creepy swamp place thing where you left her and said not one word. How could you? How could you be such a monster, Henry? I am thankful for the justice for Breasia Terrell and my baby boy.
Thank you.
He ain't shaking his head, nothing. His body ain't doing nothing but sitting there and taking it because he did it. No body language, is sitting up there waiting. Yeah, man, go ahead, say what you're going to say. Whatever, you got me.
Due to your extensive criminal history and the fact that you removed Breasia from the place that you were authorized to care for her, and then take Breasia to a dark, deserted area in the country and shoot her in such a horrific manner, supports the finding that the sentences to be imposed on both counts 1 and 2 shall be served consecutively.
Ooh.
Mr. Dinkins, pursuant to this court's finding you guilty on September 15th of 2023 of murder in the first degree in violation of Iowa Code Section 707.1, paren 1, paren A, and as provided by Sections 902.1, it is the judgment and sentence of this court that you be committed to the custody of the Iowa Department of Corrections for the rest of your natural life without the possibility of parole. Pursuant to this court's finding you guilty on September 15th, 2023 of kidnapping in the first degree in violation of Iowa Code Section 710.2, and as provided by Iowa Code Section 902.1, it is the judgment and sentence of this court that you be committed to the custody of the Iowa Department of Corrections for the rest of your natural life without the possibility of parole. DNA sampling will be required. Each of these counts will be served consecutive to one another for the reasons stated earlier. The Iowa Medical and Classification Center is designated as a reception center to which you shall be delivered by the sheriff. Pursuant to Iowa Code Section 910.3B1 and paren 1, you are ordered to pay to the heirs of Breasia Terrell, and as noted by the county attorney to Aisha Langford, $150,000.
So if he writes any books, anything come out of this movie, he got to pay them for that.
Mr. Freeze, do you wish to address Category B expenses at this time?
Well, I believe that given Mr. Dinkins' status presently and going forward, Mr. Dinkins had qualified for waiver category B expenses.
Ms. Cunningham, do you wish to address the court on this matter?
No, Your Honor, and the state would not resist the court entering that finding.
Based on that, the court will find that Mr. Dinkins is indigent and does not have the reasonable ability to pay Category B expenses. Now that you have been sentenced, it is my duty to advise you of your right to appeal. Under Iowa law, you have the right to appeal your conviction and sentence to the Iowa Supreme Court. In order to do so, you must file a written notice of appeal with the clerk of this court within 30 days from today's date. Failure to file such notice of appeal in that fashion will be deemed a waiver of your right to appeal. In other words, you will lose it. If you think you want to appeal but don't think you can afford an attorney or transcript of these proceedings for that purpose, you have a right to make application with this court for court-appointed counsel and a transcript of these proceedings, all at the expense of the state of Iowa. Just be aware all of this must be done within the 30-day time limit that I have just outlined. I'm sure if you have any questions concerning this, Mr. Freeze or Mr. Waters would be happy to address this with you. I'll acknowledge receipt of any pre-sentence investigation reports that have been printed for the purpose of today's sentencing. No appeal bond will be issued in this case. Minimus will issue immediately. Anything further in this matter?
Your Honor, I do want to make a record relative to some comments of Mr. Dinkins. Mr. Dinkins spoke to the issue of the state having provided all of these exhibits during the trial that he had not received. The state did comply with all discovery requests that were made. I would note that there were a significant amount of photographs. There were a significant amount of body-worn camera footage that was generated by virtue of officers and their involvement in the investigation, as well as recorded interviews. There is a record that would reflect what was provided by discovery, but I want to speak to the practice of this particular prosecutor when I am in trial. My practice has always been one to make copies of any exhibits that I'm going to introduce during the trial and provide that to counsel. So while they may have received that during the course of discovery, I find that it's very beneficial for defense counsel just to have a copy that I'm presenting to the witness right there on the table before them so that they can follow along as I'm introducing those exhibits. I want to make it clear that when Mr. Dinkins suggests that these were exhibits that were just came out of the blue and were presented for the first time, that was not the case. It's simply the state's way of being very considerate of my colleagues on the opposite side of the table and making their jobs easier and making the process flow much, I think, more efficiently by providing those copies. So I think it's important to make that record. Additionally, Mr. Dinkins had indicated that there was a lack of notice of various witnesses. Certainly the court understands and defense counsel understands that with respect to any type of criminal prosecution, the state's required to file minutes of testimony. And then if there are, supplemental additional minutes of testimony that need to be filed, that is done. There were several sets of minutes of testimony that were filed. Every witness that was called to the stand to testify were individuals who were listed in those minutes of testimony. And every report that documented their statements to law enforcement or any investigative steps taken by law enforcement was a part of those investigative reports. And in fact, the state would further speak to the issue of expert testimony, particularly that of the FBI's testimony. My predecessor, who had been on the case before I took office, had filed additional minutes of testimony indicating their...
All right, that's enough. 2 consecutive life terms. His ass is out. He got 30 days to appeal. Yeah, he did it. Yeah, he definitely did it. It's pretty sad. Well, wow. That's all I got. Later.